Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live. It's Friday, April 4th. It is time for the weekend highlights. It's the top live streams that we're recommending for this weekend. And then it'll probably be about 20 minutes for me to get through all of them. The first of the top recommendations for this weekend, the first, of course, is Apr Vision, which is live streaming in a half an hour from now. Mozart's Mitridate from Teatro Real, the Royal Theater in Madrid. We have put out a separate video. I did a separate live stream on that. If you're interested in that, click off of this. You can come back to this later. It will be available in recorded format, but at 7 o'clock European time, 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Daylight Time, Apr Vision, God bless their hearts, is live streaming Mozart's Mitridate free of charge from Teatro Real, which is one of the top ones in the world. Okay, now, so once that's out of the way, what do we have to recommend for you today, live streaming today, Friday? The first thing that I want to recommend to you is will be coming up at 7:30 if opera is not your bag, because top conductor Mirga Grazinyte-Tyla is leading the Münchner Phil through Bartók, Mendelssohn, and Richard Schumann, live stream from the Budapest Mupa Hall. That's at 7:30 European time, 1:30 Eastern Daylight Time, and 10:30 in the morning Pacific Daylight Time. They'll be doing Bartók's Divertimento for strings, Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto in E minor, played by Barnabas Kellerman on the violin, and Schumann's Symphony No. 1 in B-flat major, the Spring Symphony, Opus 38. Why do I recommend this as your Friday offering other than the opera? Because I'm so enthusiastic about this conductor, Mirga Grazinyte-Tyla. She's one of those former Dudamel fellows. She was a Dudamel fellow. That's the LA Philharmonic, and Dudamel has been the head guy there for like a decade or so. And he created this internship for up-and-coming conductors, and a number of top up-and-coming women directors like Yemanu down at the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra. It came up through that program. As did Mirga Grazinyte-Tyla back in 2013, and she was so good that then they brought her in. They made her an assistant for a few years. She went from there to being the music director of the Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, following in the footsteps of people like Simon Rattle. And she was there from 2016 to 2023, and now she's just an associate conductor there because she's doing what she feels like doing. And she's doing a lot of opera, and she's very big on Weinberg. She conducted a live stream of Weinberg's opera, The Passenger, at Teatro Real last June. We told you about it. And then she was at Salzburg with the Vienna Phil conducting The Idiot by Weinberg. So it's onward and upward for her, and I think she's terrific. So that's why we recommend it as your best choice for a live stream this Friday. Now, close runner-up second, but I don't think it'll be as good, is the Sao Paulo Symphony. And I forgot to give you more of a close-up of Grazinyte-Tyla and Kellerman. Just for a second, I'd like to let you see the intensity with which both of these artists work. I see that, and I just think this is going to be terrific. Now, the runner-up, honorable mention, you could call it, is Emilia Hoving. Now, Emilia Hoving will be conducting the Sao Paulo Symphony in a live stream today at 8 o'clock Brazilian time, which I think is going to be 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, and 1 in the morning in Europe. I'm pretty sure, but everybody's changing around from daylight savings time to standard time, so you may want to double check that on your computer. Emilia Hoving is really hot stuff according to everybody. She won she went to the Sibelius Academy, And then she was assistant to Hannu Lintu, a top conductor at the Finnish Radio Symphony. And then she went to work under Mikko Frank at Radio France. And there was this incident a few years ago where Radio France Orchestra was playing at the Berlin Phil's Hall, and the other conductor got sick, and at the last minute, she had to jump in, and she did, and the Germans loved her. And Germans don't love people that easily, so I think she really impressed. They'll be doing an interesting piece by Unsuk Chin, talk about opera. It's called Opera Scope, and he's a South Korean conductor who was a former visiting composer at OSESP. And it's a 9-minute piece tracing the history of opera, Verdi, Puccini, Bird, and some others. And then they'll do Nielsen's second opera, Symphony number 5, a 2-movement symphony. And then they'll do Richard Strauss's Don Quixote. So that's an interesting concept, but I just don't think this measures up to Grazinyte-Tyla and the Münchner Phil. I just don't think it's on I don't think you can have the same expectations. And if none of that pleases you, then a little later in the evening, you can hear some lovely Amy Beach 4 pieces for cello and piano, and Brahms trio for viola, cello, and piano, played by members of the National Symphony Orchestra on the Kennedy Center Millennium Stage. But the recommendations for tonight are of course, the opera, the Apr Vision Opera, and the Mirga Grazinyte-Tyla and the Münchner Phil playing Bartók, etc. I mean, I think that'll be really good. So that's what we have for Friday. Then we move on to what I can recommend to you for Saturday, and that's that Finnish conductor there in the photo. We move on to Saturday, and what are the 2 recommendations for Saturday? I try to keep it just to 1 or 2. Yeah, now Saturday starts out, if you like this kind of stuff, if you've been following it, March Vivo has their noontime live stream, which is focused on songs and tales of love and loss from Latin America. And this Saturday, it's soprano Julia Lozano, and she's singing songs on the theme they tell us of female protagonism. So if you're interested in that, that's at noon in Madrid and very early times in the U.S. She'll be singing songs about love at different moments in life from 7 different Latin American countries. Composers like Irma Urteaga, Maria Piñeros, Mariela Rodriguez, Ernestina Lecuona, Isolina Carrillo, Violeta Parra, etc. If you don't know those authors, I'm sure it'll be lovely music. But of course, one of the top experiences tomorrow to recommend, and which I do recommend, is Wigmore Hall, the semifinals of the International String Quartet competition. If you have followed any of it this week, they had 4 days of preliminaries. These are top, young, ambitious, up-and-coming quartets. It's the Quatuor Emilre, the Velvet Quartet, the Quartet Hana, the Turicum Quartet, the Catarina String Quartet, the Aranis Quartet, Opus 13, Terrace String Quartet, Quartet Integra, the Myriad, and the Via Torres Quartets. And those were all the ones that participated all week long. I'm sure you can watch their recordings that are still up on YouTube. And we do not yet know which of these will be chosen to proceed into the semifinals. The semifinals will be in 2 stages. The first is at 3 o'clock European time, Saturday, 9 in the morning on the East Coast, 6 in the morning on the West Coast, midnight down in Australia. And then the second one is at 8:30 in the evening European time, 2:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast, and 11:30 in the morning on the West Coast. They're playing their hearts out. This is real quality stuff. They're all, a number of them are resident quartets at places like Juilliard or McGill, and they're at the point where they've started playing out in the first year or 2 after getting out of school. So They're good. Now, the second thing that I want to recommend as a live stream that you may want to check out, this is, I think it's really curious. I'm curious about it. And this will be chamber music with organ. You see those three performers there. It's a cellist, a violinist, and an organist. And they are an ensemble. The ensemble is called Tempus Novum Art. They're Russian, and they play together that way. I have never heard of an ensemble which was strings and organ before. I've heard of strings and piano, but not organ. And what are they going to be playing? So they're playing a number of things, and they're also going to be joined by a mezzo-soprano, Elena Lopukina. I don't have a picture of her. And the theme of the evening is Bach and the Venetian composers that he loved, because apparently he had music by Vivaldi and Marcello was found in his library, and he reworked some of Vivaldi's music to try to see if he could make it work in German. And so they'll start out with Bach's Fantasia and Fugue in C minor. Then they'll do 3 choral preludes from the collection organ book. And then they'll do Vivaldi's Stabat Mater, RV 621. They'll do Marcello's, that's Alessandro Marcello's Adagio. Marcello is almost a complete contemporary of Bach, died in 1747. Bach passed away in 1750. They'll do Vivaldi's Trio Sonata in C minor, RV 83, and Nisi Dominus, which I believe is a song. Which is RV 608 by Vivaldi. So those are the two that I recommend. The Wigmore Hall string quartet competition, and my brain just gets stuck. I'm processing so much for you. And the Tempus Novum Art Ensemble playing Bach, Vivaldi, and Marcello. Now, later on in that evening, also Stage Plus, if you want to, and those are free. Stage Plus, if you want to shell out €9.90 or $11 Lang Lang, the pianist, is playing, and the Detroit Symphony Orchestra is playing at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. But it's not with Yadar Bignamini, that terrific conductor they have. It's a visiting conductor, Marcus Stentz. And they'll be doing the Leonore Overture by number 3 by Beethoven, Max Bruch's Concerto for clarinet and viola. And on that, they are having in-house musicians. Do I have a picture of them? I thought I had a picture of them picked out. I can dig it up for you here. Incidentally, it's Ralph Sciano and on the clarinet, and Eric Nowlin on the viola, and then they'll do Schumann's Symphony No. 2 in C major. I just can't say that that's going to be as good as the two that I'm recommending in terms of the interest and quality of the music and my curiosity about it. Can't say that. So that's what we have for Saturday, those two. So then we move on finally to Sunday. And what can I recommend to you for live streams to check out on Saturday? And, if you disagree with any of them, I'd love to get comments. Comment on this this live stream video or wherever you may see it replayed and say, no, John, you were all wrong. That wasn't any good. So okay. So on Sunday, Sunday starts out March Vivo again at noontime. They have a 17-year-old prodigy playing Beethoven, Debussy, and Eugène Issei, if that kind of thing interests you. Then Fabian Müller, the pianist, is continuing with 4 more Beethoven sonatas. He's playing all 32 of them. And that's, again, on Stage Plus for €9.90. But I'm not sure why you would pay to hear Fabian Müller play it when you can hear Boris Giltberg do the same thing at Wigmore Hall, which he's going through all 32 of them too. And Boris Giltberg is a very good pianist, and it's free of charge. They ask you for a donation, but you don't have to. You can get it for free. Well, why pay for it if you can get it for free? Well, because Daniel Barenboim invited Fabian Müller to play the Beethoven sonatas at the Pierre Boulez Salle. So I I guess that's a reason, but Wigmore Hall is a reason too. Okay, so those are fine, but I'm not recommending them. The ones I recommend are an organ recital. St. Eustache Church is live streaming one of their resident organists, the masterful showman, Baptiste-Florian Marle-Ouvrard. He's playing Charles Maria Widor's Sixth Symphony for organ. That's going to be great. That organ, with its 111 stops, 7,952 pipes, it's just a marvelous organ. And this is such a popular live stream. They get. Let me put up a picture of this showman, Baptiste-Florian Marle-Ouvrard, because I really like this guy. He's really a fine. He's been there for almost a decade now. He always wears red socks at these recitals, and I think it's because he knows that they have a camera focused at his feet, so he's a little bit of vanity. But anyway, he has a showman's flair. He also does, a lot of these organists do, or some of them anyway, does silent movie accompaniments and things like that. But and on our YouTube page, you can find a link. You can find a video. It's the replay of a live stream that I did with Marle-Ouvrard's colleague, the other resident organist, Thomas Hospital, and he about 35 minutes worth of walking around the church, and he took us up in the loft and explained the architecture of the church and how it interacted with the characteristics of that magnificent Van den Heuvel organ to produce the immersive sound effect that it has, and compared that to the organ, which is similar in size at Notre Dame Cathedral, and then the Cavaillé-Coll organ at Saint-Sulpice. And then he went over individual. I got him to talk about individual pieces of the organ because they say it badly needs renovation. So if you don't know about organs, he's explaining all these different pieces, what they have to do to improve it. So it's an education, or as the French would say, c'est une leçon. It's a lesson. So anyway, that's Baptiste-Florian Marle-Ouvrard, and it's going to be, they get standing room only people. They get 300 people for these things. And most of the other organ recitals that we pitch to you during the week, they're in these huge cathedrals, and there may be a dozen people or 20 people. Here, it's filled, and there are people standing. So it's a good concert. And then the other thing to recommend for you on Sunday is Sunday evening, the Wigmore Hall International String Quartet Competition, the finals and the awards. And that'll be 6 o'clock UK time, 7 o'clock in Europe, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. And I'm sure that will be a fine demonstration of string quartet quality. So I would say, that is what I would make my Sunday. I'd make this lovely organ recital and then enjoying the Wigmore Hall International String Quartet. Now, if you're particularly into Bach, I can mention to you that Albin Gerhardt, who is considered one of the top cellists in the world, is going to be playing. I have a picture of him that's just in the composite. That's him there in the middle of the bottom row. Albin Gerhardt. He is going to be playing at 92 NY, the complete cello suites by Johann Sebastian Bach. So if you're an early music person or a Baroque person or a cello lover, this is a top cellist, one of the tops in the world. He's spoken of very highly, and he's playing all of Bach's cellos. But that's at 6. That's at 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, which is 11 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, 8 o'clock in the evening in Europe, and 11 o'clock at night Australian Eastern Daylight Time. But it's not free. It will cost you $25. If you really love it, though, it could be worth it. The rest of your Sunday, there are a couple other interesting things that I'll just tell you about briefly. There's the Horizon Ensemble, which is in Massachusetts. They're doing a concert at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time, noon on the West Coast, and 9 in the evening in Europe. They're doing a concert of revolutionary voices of Massachusetts through orchestral music and poetry. So this is more of a local thing, but they put out an annual call for composers, and so that'll be part of this concert. They're doing a new piece by an Australian composer called John Rotar, called Kunar. I have no idea what it's about, but it was composed this year. They're doing another world premiere by another composer, Ben Nakar, called Paul Revere, composed this year, inspired by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem about Paul Revere in Massachusetts. It's his 250th anniversary. Then they'll be doing Amy Beach's Jephthah's daughter. She was from Massachusetts. And Leonard Bernstein's Symphony No. 1. Was he from Massachusetts? I don't know. But it's an interesting concert. I don't know. And then finally, a very curious live stream to me. This is coming from the Scottsdale Philharmonic at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time in the US. And they're playing Rimsky-Korsakov, Bizet, Puccini, Glière. What's interesting is the conductor. Here's Vanya Gyumar-Nikolovsky. He's an interesting man. He started out in Macedonia, where he studied conducting and composition, and graduated from the Rimsky-Korsakov State Conservatory in the mid-90s. And then there's nothing. Well, no, then he did a lot of conducting with like the Macedonian Phil and etc. And then he like disappeared, and he got his doctorate in music arts and conducting from Arizona State University in 2018. So there's like a gap when he was out of the business, and now he's back. And I think it's always interesting when people are away and they come back like that. So you might want to tune into it. It's free of charge, just out of curiosity. But again, the two top things I think on Sunday are Baptiste-Florian Marle-Ouvrard's organ recital and the the finals and the awards of the Wigmore Hall International String Competition. So that's that, folks. I will remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook, please click the like the video button. On YouTube, click subscribe. And on our other platforms, we're happy that so many of you like our videos, but we'd be even happier if you would like us. That is, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on our other platforms, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and for some reason, LinkedIn. So ciao for now. I hope that any of these live streams we've been talking about inspires you, uplifts you, or just shows you a heck of a good time.